Marc the Bone Crusher Diakiese versus Joseph Duffy. Irish Joe Duffy, to be precise. The man who holds a win over Conor McGregor, to be also precise. This is an interesting matchup at featherweight because because Joe Duffy, other than his loss to James Vick last time, he got knocked out at the end of the round. He still looked like he was with it when the fight was called off, but either way, you get knocked out by James Vick. Not the best for you, you know? And also, he's in his prime right now. I'm looking at this fight. He's 16-3. It's a great record. All of his losses nearly have come in the UFC. Actually, he's only lost 2 in the UFC. So that interests me, guys. That really does interest me. And also, his wins look better over time. Because he lost to Dustin Poirier when everyone thought, this is it for Dustin Poirier. You know, he's going to lose this one, and all that shit. And then he gets knocked out by James Vick. Very interesting, okay? He gets knocked out by James Vick, but here's what I like more about it, okay? He gets knocked out the 5th of November by James Vick. Takes a lot of fucking damage from James Vick as well. Because James Vick is just oversizing anyone at lightweight. I don't mind that he lost to James Vick. He takes an entire year off and he's back in March. I like that. He got knocked out. He took a lot of damage. Take some time and elongate your career. Save your brain cells for the future. I like that. And now he's back against Marc Diakiese. And let me tell you something about Marc Diakiese. When he first came into the UFC, I was very high on him. You know, he's from England. He represents Africa, somewhere in Africa. I don't know whereabouts in Africa, but one of the countries, you know. And anyway, he comes into the UFC. He's undefeated. I can't remember what organization he used to fight for. I think it was I don't even know what he used to fight for. Probably LFA or something. No, he didn't used to fight for NFA. He used to fight for Bama. He was the champion there. He beat the champion there. He gets signed by the UFC. He's looking very good. He KOs his first opponent in the second round. He gets a unanimous decision in his second outing in the UFC. Then he comes out and he gets a brutal KO. You guys know the KO I'm talking about when he does the jump turning kick, whatever the fuck that kick is, and then he just KOs this poor guy flatline unconscious and starts doing his little breakdance and shit. And that's when he popped on the scene for everyone. Then people just figure him out. Oh, you don't like pressure? Oh, if I don't give you any space, you're going to struggle? Okay, let me show you this. And that's what happened. Drakkar Klose beat him, split decision. As soon as he started taking on real talent, that undefeated streak from 12-0 went to 12-3 real fucking fast. Okay? Drakkar Klose he loses to, split decision. He's like, oh, I should have won that. He starts having a bit of a hissy fit. Oh, I should have won that. Oh, it's so unfair. Fuck it, I'll just get back in there. Then you fight fucking Dan Hooker, a savage. An absolute savage in Dan Hooker. You get submitted in the third round. And then he gets beat again by Nasrat. Who the fuck is that you're getting beat by? Unanimous decision. This is his... I don't know any other guy who's unranked, who's lost 3 in a row, and is still in the UFC. I haven't heard of that before, so I don't know if he's sucking Dana's dick backstage. I don't know what's going on. But for some reason, he's still in the UFC, and it confuses me. It really does confuse me. We haven't seen that before. And I think that Joe Duffy's going to take this win. I really think he is. I think he's going to unanimously destroy Marc Diakiese and potentially get a submission. Joe Duffy's more experienced. He's had more time fighting the best of the best. He's lost to the best of the best. And he bounces back after losses, you know. So he loses to Dustin Poirier in the UFC after he gets signed. So he goes Jake Lindsay, KO to the body. Ivan George, Jorge beats him with a triangle choke. Beating guys in the first round. They chuck him to Dustin Poirier. He loses. Unanimous decision. Fair enough. It was an entertaining fight. It went back and forth. Dustin Poirier gets the win, though. Fair enough. Fair enough, you lose. Dustin Poirier. He's a great guy. Then he comes back, though. So he learns from his mistakes. He comes back and he gets 2 impressive wins. One in the first round by a rear naked choke. But then they chuck him to James Vick. I feel like when they put him up to his level of competition, he really kind of chokes on the main stage, you know? Like 8 Mile. He just chokes. Whenever it gets to a high level of competition where it's all on the line, if I win this, I'm going to be ranked. And I'm going to finally get a rematch with Conor because that sells. There's not a lot of guys that have beat Conor in the UFC. And Joe Duffy, you've got to admit, if he went up the rankings, That'd be a great fight for Conor to have. Two Irish people in Ireland fighting, and Joe Duffy beat McGregor before. That's a great fight. I just feel that he's gonna just destroy Mark. I don't rate Marc Diakiese whatsoever. I think he's strong-headed. He's gone back to London for this fight because the super camp that he was with didn't pay enough attention to him. It literally was a headline. They don't pay me enough attention. Fair enough. You want to be all the focus on you. Maybe it works out for him because since he's moved to another camp, he's gone 0-3. So maybe this is a good move for him. But I just feel like Joe Duffy is just gonna dominate him for 3 rounds, and I'm giving Joe Duffy the unanimous decision in the 3rd round. I think the striking's gonna be a bit iffy. Maybe Joe Duffy's not gonna want to strike with him, but I think that Joe Duffy's boxing's very nice. But then Marc Diakiese comes out with some more unorthodox stuff, goes a bit wild. But I think Joe Duffy's going to be looking to smother Marc Diakiese up against the fence because Diakiese can't do anything about that. And then just take him down, look for submissions, look for ground and pound, and just ride him out for 3 rounds. And that's what I think is going to happen. Marc Diakiese's going to go 0-4 in his last 4 and get cut by the UFC. Goodbye. Say hello to Bellator for me. I'm sure you and Scott Coker are going to get along just fine. Bye.